guys, and welcome back to my channel. And for today's video, we're gonna do something that I haven't done in a while, and that is an updated workout split. So before we even start, I just want a disclaimer that I am not a professional by any means. This is just what I do that works for my body, and I just want to share it with you guys. And keep in mind that this may not work for everyone because everyone's body is different and everyone's goals are different. So I just want to put that out there. But I'm going to show you guys what I do on a weekly basis. So I go to the gym 5 to 6 times a week. Sometimes it just depends on how I feel or how busy I am, but I try to go to the gym as much as possible, and I do take a rest. So I usually start off my week depending on how busy it is at the gym. It's so insane because if I'm gonna be honest, our gym is usually busy from Mondays to Wednesdays. So I try to not even go to the gym Mondays and Tuesdays. So I go to the gym 5 times a week, sometimes 6 depending on how I'm feeling, but usually I go 5 times a week. So I typically do 3 leg days and 2 upper body days, and I'll show you guys what I do on those days. So I quickly want to break down to you guys what I do on a daily, I guess weekly basis. So Friday is I start off my week, my workout split on Fridays. Friday I do glutes and hamstrings. Saturday I either do push or pull. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day, but push or pull on Saturday. Sunday I do a quad focus leg day. This includes my quads and my calves. And then Mondays, Tuesdays I take a rest day. Wednesday is my other leg day, which is a glute focus leg day. And on Thursday is I do either push or pull. So I'm gonna try to break it down as much as possible for you guys, but basically I do 3 sets of 8 to 10, sometimes 10 to 12 depending. It depends also on the weight that I'm doing. If I'm trying to go heavy, then I do 8 to 10. If I am doing less weight, then I do 10 to 12. So basically higher weight I do less reps, and then lighter weight I do more reps. It's just a hypertrophy kind of thing. Don't quote me on it. I'm not a professional and I don't even know how to pronounce it right, so there you go. But also keep in mind, I do have an ACL tear and a meniscus tear, so these exercises just works for me, and these are the exercises that help me kind of grow my legs, especially my legs, because I have to have a really strong leg for my surgery. So with that being said, let's get on with the video. So the first day that I'm showing you guys is the glutes and hamstrings. But basically I start off with a warm-up. You want to start off with a warm-up. This is to prevent you from getting injured and to just kind of prep you from what you're going to be doing in the gym. So warming up is essential. So the first exercise that we're going to do are hip thrust, and I'm just kind of setting up everything with this little thing that actually is very helpful. So we're going to do 3 sets of 8 to 10, but trying to go really slow. I kind of fast forward the video here, but here I'm showing you guys that I'm going slow on the down and then pausing at the top. Just girl thinking about her life, basically. Now moving on to RDLs, and this one I'm gonna do 3 sets of 8 to 10, and I'm gonna add more weights to it. Just depends on how I feel, because sometimes when I do RDLs it's kind of heavy on some days and sometimes it's not. For this second set I have those little straps to kind of help me with my grip. Now moving on to step ups. Now the trick to this, in order for you to feel it in your glutes, is do not focus on the way up. You want to focus on the ascend. So that means is slowing down on the way down and slightly tapping your toes on the floor and going back up. you don't want to push off your leg, as you want the leg that's on top of the step to be doing the work. And I like to do this on the cable machine just because it's easier for me to balance myself. And then we're gonna go with some glute kickbacks, and I'm not kicking as far as I can. So like basically you're just kind of doing this on a 90-degree angle and just kind of kicking back, but not kicking as far as possible because you're not gonna feel that in your glutes. Just far enough that you can feel it on the top of your glutes. Now the last exercise is some hamstring curls. Now this one you want to focus on kind of slowing down on the ascent, and that's when you're basically going to feel it. And I like to play along with how I'm sitting on this. Sometimes I feel it when I'm like hunched over like this one, or sometimes it just depends on how I feel, but usually I feel my hamstrings more when I'm hunched over like this. And again, 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Sometimes I do AMRAP on this, but just with a little less weight, or sometimes I do a pyramid set or a drop set, just depends on the day. And then lastly, make sure that you stretch out and kind of do your cool down after your workout, especially on leg days for me, because I actually see the difference of me not stretching after workout versus when I stretch out after workout. And honestly, it's a game changer. So you should warm up before your workout and stretch out after your workout. So that is the first day, glutes and hamstrings. Now moving on to day 2, which is Saturday. I decided to do a pull day. So with a pull day, what I do is I have a resistance band and I use that to stretch out and warm up and stuff like that. I'm sorry about the clips, by the way. I'm terrible at filming my upper body days because it's just an awkward position, and I'm not the type of person to like set up a tripod in the gym or like set it up somewhere to like film myself. My gym is super busy, and filming in our gym is not really like the norm for us. I try to be discreet. Like my friends know that I film sometimes, but I just don't want to like pull out a camera in front of them, and like, you know, I am very discreet when it comes to my workout videos. So I'm sorry about the angles, and also my storage on my phone is really bad, so some of these clips are cut off. So I should have planned better, to be honest. So starting off this day with some pull-ups. I like to do 2 sets of AMRAP on this to warm up because I'm going to do lat pull-downs anyways. And then moving on to lat pull-downs. This video is cut off short, but I did 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps on this. And then we have this new machine at the gym. I don't even know what it's called, but it's like a row thing. So I don't know, it feels good. I feel it on my middle back, and sometimes I do single arm on this, but on this day I decided to do a double arm. And then we're gonna do this. I actually have no idea what this is called. I think this is like a high-low cable row thingy. I'll insert the name on the screen because I actually forgot what this is called. Again, not a professional here, but we're doing 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps on this. And this one kind of just feels it more on your lower lats. And now we're doing some high-lows
this iso high-low machine, and I'm using like a little handle from a cable. It's just easier for me to grab, and I feel it more with this kind of extension than just handling the machine itself, if that makes sense. But we're doing 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps on a single arm on this. It's very good for isolating those lats. And then lastly, we're doing some bicep curls. Sometimes I do this on the machine, sometimes I do it with a barbell, or sometimes a dumbbell. It just depends on the day. Obviously, if there's no cables available, then I do it either a dumbbell or a barbell, but preferably I actually like doing this on a cable with this rope attachment.
Now Sunday's actually my least favorite day. I hate doing quads, but I love it at the same time. A love-hate day, I guess. I hate doing it, but honestly the pump that you get after is so good, so I'm not gonna complain.
Starting off with this machine, I did warm up before this, but I just didn't film it. But we're starting off with the pendulum squat, and this is a new machine in our gym, but I actually really like it. So the goal for this machine is you can really squat ass to grass, as you can tell, and that's basically what this is supposed to do. It's supposed to really target your quads actually. And if you're not feeling on your quads, then you're doing this wrong. But this is a very humbling machine, but always making sure that your form is good than lifting a weight that you can't even lift. And then we're doing a superset. We're doing a sissy squat. So this is how you do a sissy squat. I don't even know how to describe it, but there you go. And then supersetting that with some single leg lunges. And I am doing this statically just because it's easier on my knees, but I really make sure that I focus this on my quads. So depending on where you feel it, you kind of want to play around with your foot placement on this. Now moving on to my favorite quad exercise, and this is the only year that I actually started doing leg extensions because I could not do it for the life of me for the last 3 years because of my injury. But basically we are doing a drop set on this. So we're doing 8 reps on this one. And then we're gonna go down a weight, and then we're gonna do 10 reps, and trust me, this hurts. And then lastly, we're gonna put down the weight again, and then we're gonna do 12 reps. And this is a very hard drop set, but honestly the quad pump after is so worth it, and this is like one of my favorite exercises when it comes to quad days. And then for calves, we're just doing this calf machine. This is one of the newest machine in our gym, but basically when you do this, you want to have a slight bend on your knee. You don't want to fully extend your knee. And then just making sure that you're pushing with your toes. And as you can tell, girl is struggling. And then again, you want to do some stretches, some cool down right after your workout.
Now Mondays and Tuesdays I take a rest day, and on these days it's not like I just like go home and like lay in my bed. I go on walks or I study. But I like going on walks with my friends, and honestly our walks last for like an hour and a half sometimes, because we yap when we walk. Sometimes we're not even tired of like walking because we just like have so much to talk about. We love to go on walks. Wednesday is my last leg day.
Now this is the last leg day of the week, so let's go. We're gonna start off with this hack squat machine. Now the difference between this and the pendulum squat is this one, it actually kind of stops you at the bottom of the machine, so you can't really go past whatever the machine is able to. I guess the pendulum squat, you can actually like squat as low as possible, but I like to do this because it targets everything for me: my quads, my glutes, my hamstrings, all of the above. And then we're gonna do some hip thrusts on this really cool machine that we got recently. We're gonna do 8 to 10 reps, sometimes 8 to 12 reps, depending on how much you can do. On the last set, I really like to do an AMRAP, which is as many reps as possible. But honestly, this machine kind of hurts my hip bones because the padding on this are not as strong. But sometimes I like to put a mat underneath the padding for extra support. But I really like this machine. It does kind of saves you time of setting up the hip thrusts. Now moving on to single leg RDLs. This really targets your hamstrings and your glutes, and you want to make sure again that you're kind of pushing with your hips instead of your legs, because some people don't feel it on their glutes. So you want to make sure that you're pretending that you're pushing a door with your bum, and once your hips stops hinging, that's when you go up. You don't want to go all the way down because then you feel it on your hamstring. And then again, some leg extension, but on this day is more slow and controlled because I'm just doing a normal 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps.
And then lastly for Thursday is a push day. Push days are a hit or miss for me sometimes. Sometimes I have those days that I can lift, I could bench, but most of the days I cannot. Push day consists of chest, shoulders, and triceps. Okay.
We're gonna start off with some bench press. This is actually my last set that I filmed this, so we're lifting some 20s here. So on my last set, usually I just do as many reps as possible because at this point I'm already exhausted, and bench press is actually my worst enemy. And you want to make sure when you're doing bench is you want to push off your legs. As you can tell, I'm lifting a little bit of my ass, but because I was pushing off my leg. And then moving on to the incline bench machine thing, we're gonna do 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps on this. I'm sorry about the angle of this, it's so terrible, but I don't even know where to put the camera. And then moving on to some shoulder press. Again, same thing with the bench press. You want to make sure that your feet are both planted so that you can push off your leg whenever you need to. But we're going to do 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps on this. And this is my last set, I'm pretty sure, that I filmed. So girl is a little exhausted already. Some lateral raises here. Again, sorry for the angle. It was just so busy at the gym. We're gonna do some rear delts here, and I'm doing a single arm to kind of isolate those muscles. And I'm doing this on a cable because I feel it a lot better than the machine. And then lastly, some tricep push downs. Again, I prefer this on rope attachment because I feel it a lot better than the straight bar. Sometimes I do single arm tricep push down, but this is my favorite way of doing triceps.
But that is all the workouts that I do for the week, 5 times a week. I think that's gonna be it for this video. I quickly want to just do like a workout split, an updated one, because I haven't done one in a while, and I feel like my workout split has significantly changed since the last one. Like the way my body transformed from like before, like when I was doing the old workout split that I'm doing, to now, there's a complete change. So I feel like it is working what I'm doing right now. So that's why I quickly want to show you guys that, because I don't know, something different to me, something that is working, I guess. So that's why I want to share it. Keep in mind, everyone's body is different. But if you've made it this far in the video, I want to say thank you for watching this entire time. If you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.